Hello everyone, today we are going to discuss about sacral plexus. The sacral plexus, it is formed by network of nerves, that is the ventral rami of L4, L5 and S1, S2, S3 and S4 nerves. So roots of these 6 spinal nerves, they form the sacral plexus. Remember, the lumbar plexus, it is formed by the roots of L1, L2, L3 and L4 nerves. So L4, it takes contribution in the formation of the sacral plexus, and also it participates in the formation of the lumbar plexus. Let us discuss about the course of sacral plexus. The ventral ramus of L4, as you can see in this picture, the ventral ramus of L4 laterally, it passes laterally and downwards. As you can see here, the course of L4, the ventral ramus, it passes laterally and downwards, and it groups the transverse process of L5 vertebra. So you can make out here, this is vertebral body and this is the transverse process. So this L4, it groups the transverse process of L5 vertebra and divides into two branches, the upper branch and the lower branch. So this is the ventral ramus of the L4. It passes laterally downwards and it groups the transverse process of the fifth lumbar vertebra, then divides into upper branch. As you can see in this diagram, this is the upper branch and this is the lower branch of the L4 nerve. Now the former branch, that is the upper branch of the L4, it joins with the lumbar plexus. So we can make out in this diagram, this is the upper branch, it joins with the lumbar plexus, and whereas the lower branch participates in the formation of sacral plexus. So this is the lower branch which takes part in the formation of the sacral plexus. So I repeat, the ventral ramus of L4, it passes downwards and laterally, it groups the transverse process of the fifth lumbar vertebra, then divides into upper branch and the lower branch. The upper branch joins with the lumbar plexus, whereas the lower branch take part in the formation of sacral plexus. Hence the L4 nerve, this L4 nerve is called nervi furcalis. Remember this, it may be asked in your PG entrance examination, what is nervi furcalis. So L4 nerve is called nervi furcalis. The ventral ramus of L5, so let us see, this is the ventral ramus of the L5. So this ventral ramus of the L5, it groups the ala sacralis. So this is ala sacralis. The ala of the sacrum is known as ala sacralis. So the ventral ramus of L5 grooves the ala sacralis. So this is ala sacralis, the ala of the sacrum. So it grooves the ala sacralis and joins with the descending branch of the L4 close to the sacroiliac joint. So we can see here, this is the ventral ramus of L5. It joins with the descending branch of the L4 nerve at the sacroiliac joint. So the two roots together form lumbosacral trunk. Okay, as you can see in this diagram. So this is L4, which grooves the transverse process of L5 vertebra, and this is ventral ramus of L5, which joins with the descending branch of L4 at the sacroiliac joint, and these two roots together form lumbosacral trunk. Lumbosacral trunk which enter the pelvis. Okay, roll number 69, tell me what are the nerves which are taking part in the formation of sacral plexus. You just tell me the root value. Okay. Let us continue with the course. Before we proceed further, roll number 1, roll number 8 and roll number 168. Tell me about the formation of lumbosacral trunk. Record your answer and send it to me. Now the ventral rami of upper 4 cervical nerves. It is S1, S2, S3 and S4. They emerge through corresponding pelvic sacral foramina. As we can see here, this is S1, S2 and S3 and S4. So these upper 4 sacral nerves, they emerge through corresponding pelvic sacral foramina, and they pass laterally and downwards in front of the piriformis. This is important. Okay. So all these nerves, the S1, S2, S3 and S4, they pass laterally in front of the piriformis muscle. You can see here, this is the piriformis, so in front of the piriformis. So all these 4 nerves, they pass and grooves the anterior surface of the lateral mass of the sacrum. So what is the lateral mass of the sacrum here? So this part is known as the lateral mass of the sacrum. Okay, from here to here. Okay, which is giving attachment to piriformis also. That part of the sacrum is known as the lateral mass of the sacrum on either side. So we have lateral mass of the sacrum. So they groove the lateral mass of the sacrum, and these 4 nerves, they pass in front of the piriformis muscle. The lumbosacral trunk joins with the S1. So lumbosacral trunk, it is formed by ventral rami of L4 and L5. Okay. So with the lumbosacral trunk joins with the S1. So we can see here, this is lumbosacral trunk. It joins with the S1, then later unites with S2, S3 and S4 to form sacral plexus. So lumbosacral trunk joins with the S1, then S2, S3 and S4 to form sacral plexus. This is about the formation of sacral plexus. So first, in the previous slide, we have seen the formation of lumbosacral trunk. Then this lumbosacral trunk unites with the upper 4 sacral nerves to form sacral plexus. The ventral ramus of S4, you can see here, the ventral ramus of S4 divides into upper branch and lower branch. So the lower branch joins with the ventral ramus of S5, and it takes part in the formation of coccygeal plexus. Coccygeal plexus. Okay. So remember, the S4 ventral ramus of S4 divides into upper and lower branch. So the lower branch joins with the ventral ramus of S5 and form coccygeal plexus. Now each nerve root, that is L4, L5, S1, S2, S3 and S4, these roots of the sacral plexus receive gray ramus communicans. What is gray ramus communicans? Who will tell me about the gray ramus communicans? I would like the answer from roll number 75. Okay. So this gray ramus communicans, nothing but each of these nerves, L4, L5, S1, S2, S3, S4, they receive a branch which is known as gray ramus communicans. From where? From where they receive? From the adjacent paravertebral ganglion of the sympathetic trunk. So from the adjacent paravertebral ganglion of the sympathetic trunk, these nerves, they receive a branch which is called gray ramus. So the gray rami communicant contains postganglionic nerve fibers of the sympathetic nervous system. So the gray ramus communicants, they contain postganglionic nerve fibers of the sympathetic nervous system, and they are composed of largely unmyelinated neurons. Unmyelinated neuron. So that is about the great ramus communicans. Okay. Now before the formation of sacral plexus, the nerve roots are nothing but the L4, L5, S1, S2, S3 and S4. They divide into ventral division and dorsal division. That means anterior division and posterior division, except the S4 nerve. So I can show you in the next diagram. Here I can show you. So each of the nerve L4, L5, S1, S2, S3, they divide into anterior division, which is shown in green color here, and the posterior division, except the S4. Okay. Coming to the relations of sacral plexus, the sacral plexus lies in front of the piriformis and behind pelvic vessels. This we have discussed in the previous slides. Now you can make out this is the sacral plexus. It lies in front of the piriformis and behind the pelvic vessels. So we can make out here, these are the pelvic vessels, right? So these are the pelvic vessels we can make out here. So this is the sacral plexus. So it lies in front of the piriformis. The sacral plexus, it lies in front of the piriformis and behind the pelvic vessels. Now the sacral plexus, it consists of two terminal branches. The sciatic nerve and pudendal nerves. These nerves are not new for you, so you have learned about these nerves in the lower limb. So the sciatic and pudendal nerves are the terminal branches of the sacral plexus. So let me show you in this diagram. This is the pudendal nerve and this is the sciatic nerve, which has got tibial and common peroneal component. So these two are the terminal branches of the sacral plexus, which leave the pelvis through greater sciatic foramen below the piriformis. So these two terminal branches of the sacral plexus, the pudendal nerve and the sciatic nerve, they leave the greater sciatic foramen. They leave the pelvis via the greater sciatic foramen below the piriformis muscle. We can make out in this picture. Then the superior gluteal artery. Where is the superior gluteal artery? So here we can see this is superior gluteal artery. So this is superior gluteal artery. So it passes between the lumbosacral trunk. Lumbosacral trunk, it is formed by L4 and L5. Okay. So superior gluteal artery passes between the lumbosacral trunk and S1 nerve. So we can make out here, this is S1 nerve and this is lumbosacral trunk. So between these two we have the superior gluteal artery. Whereas the inferior gluteal artery passes between S1 and S2. So between the S1 and S2 we have the inferior gluteal artery, or it passes between S2 and S3. So between S1 or S2, between S1 and S2 or between S2 and S3 is the passage of the inferior gluteal artery. And the internal pudendal artery intervenes between them. Between the sciatic and pudendal nerves, the internal pudendal artery intervenes. So where is this internal pudendal artery? We can make out here, this is the internal pudendal artery. It intervenes between the sciatic and the pudendal nerves. So these are the relations of the sacral plexus. Let us discuss about branches from the sacral plexus. Altogether 12 branches arise from the sacral plexus. 5 nerves are confined to the pelvis and remaining 7 nerves supply the gluteal region and the lower limb. Okay, so 7 nerves are supplying gluteal region and lower limb. These nerves we studied in the lower limb, the nerves of the gluteal region and the lower limb. And 5 nerves, they are confined to the pelvis. And the sciatic and pudendal nerves are the terminal branches, and The rest of the nerves are the collateral branches. Now there are three sets of nerves which arise from the roots of the sacral plexus. Number one, we have the muscular branches to the piriformis, that is known as the nerve to piriformis, arising from S1 and S2, and also muscular branches including nerve to the levator ani and coccygeus, which arise from S3 and S4. So we can make out nerve to piriformis here and nerve to levator ani and coccygeus. These two are the muscular branches, and also there are slender branches arising from S2, S3 and S4. They are known as the pelvic splanchnic nerves. They are known as pelvic splanchnic nerves. So these pelvic splanchnic nerves, they provide sacral outflow of the parasympathetic system. That means these nerves, the pelvic splanchnic nerves, they cause constriction of the sphincter vesicae and the sphincter ani externus muscle. Constriction of sphincter vesicae, vesicae means bladder, and sphincter ani externus. And these nerves, the pelvic splanchnic nerves, they also cause dilatation of the arteries of the erectile tissue of the penis and clitoris during their erection. So this is the function of the pelvic splanchnic nerves, that they cause constriction of sphincter vesicae and sphincter ani externus, and they cause dilatation of the arteries of the erectile tissue of the penis and clitoris during their erection. Let us continue with the branches. Before we proceed, rule number 141, tell me about the relations of sacral plexus, and rule number 163, tell me about the branches which are arising from the roots of the sacral plexus. Okay. Now there are 7 nerves passed through the greater sciatic foramen. The superior gluteal nerve emerges above the piriformis. So we can make out the superior gluteal nerve. It emerges above the piriformis, and rest of the nerves, they appear below the piriformis, as you can see here. So these are the nerves arising from below the piriformis, and above the piriformis we have superior gluteal nerve. From lateral to medial side, so what are the nerves we have below the piriformis? The sciatic nerve, then posterior femoral cutaneous nerve, nerve to quadratus femoris, which is not shown here, and inferior gluteal nerve, the nerve to obturator internus, and the pudendal nerve. So these are the 7 nerves which are passing through the greater sciatic foramen. One is emerging above the piriformis, that is superior gluteal nerve, and the rest of the nerves, they are emerging from the greater sciatic foramen below the piriformis, from lateral to medial side. The sciatic nerve, posterior femoral cutaneous nerve, nerve to quadratus femoris, then inferior gluteal nerve, nerve to obturator internus, and pudendal nerve. There are 5 nerves located in the pelvis. Number 1, the nerve to piriformis. It conveys fibers from S1, S2, and it supplies the piriformis muscle by short picks from the pelvic surface. Okay. Then nerves to levator ani and coccygeus. They are fairly long branches. They convey fibers from S3 and S4 and supply muscles of pelvic surface. Then we have one more branch, that is perineal branch of S4 nerve. Perineal branch of S4 nerve. It pierces the coccygeus and appears in the ischiorectal fossa. So perennial branch of S4 nerve, it pierces the coccygeus. You can see here the coccygeus muscle. So this S4 nerve, the perennial branch, it pierces the coccygeus and appears in the ischiorectal fossa by the side of the coccyx to supply the sphincter ana externus and adjoining skin. Coming to the pelvic splanchnic nerve. So these nerves, they arise from the roots of S2, S3 and S4 and carries preganglionic parasympathetic motor fibers and viscerosensory fibers. So they are originating from S2, S3 and S4. Okay. Now each nerve forms inferior hypogastric plexus by the side of rectum and supply the pelvic organs. So inferior hypogastric plexus, it is a network of nerves that supplies the organs of the pelvic cavity, and this plexus, inferior hypogastric plexus, it gives rise to prostatic plexus in males and the uterovaginal plexus in females. Now the few fibers ascend along the inferior mesenteric vessels to supply the left colic flexure, the splenic flexure and descending and sigmoid colon. Motor fibers to the large gut act as secretomotor to the glands and stimulate peristalsis and inhibit the sphincter ani internus muscle. So in this diagram we can make out the inferior hypogastric plexus which supply the organs of the pelvic cavity, and it also gives rise to prostatic plexus in males and uterovaginal plexus in females. Now parasympathetic supply to the urinary bladder is exclusively responsible for the normal act of micturition. Micturition is nothing but the process of voiding of urine from the urinary bladder, both in the matter of filling and evacuation. So that is the role of parasympathetic innervation to the urinary bladder. Now on uterus, the parasympathetic inhibits contraction of the myometrium and its sensory component conveys painful sensation from the cervix of the uterus. The pelvic splanchnic nerves, in addition, produce vasodilatation of the erectile tissue of the penis and clitoris in females. Hence, it is known as the nervi irrigentis, or the nervi irrigens, you can say. So erection of the penis is stimulated by the parasympathetic, whereas ejaculation is finalized by the sympathetic nervous system. Coming to the pudendal nerve, which is very important from examination point of view. It is a smaller terminal branch of the sacral plexus and formed by the ventral divisions of S2, S3 and S4 nerves. S2, S3 and S4, ventral divisions of S2, S3 and S4, they form pudendal nerve. This nerve, it passes through greater sciatic foramen below the piriformis. We can see in this diagram, it passes through greater sciatic foramen below the piriformis and crosses the dorsal surface of the ischial spine. The ischial spine we can make out here. So it crosses the dorsal surface of the ischial spine. So one thing you remember, that the pudendal nerve in this diagram is shown in red color. Okay, but usually the nerves you should draw with yellow color. So it crosses the dorsal surface of the ischial spine, medial to the internal pudendal vessels, and nerve to obturator internus. Then it appears in the pudendal canal of the lateral wall of the ischiorectal fossa. So we can make out this is the pudendal canal of the lateral wall of the ischiorectal fossa through the lesser sciatic foramen. So this is the course of the pudendal nerve. passes through the greater sciatic foramen below the piriformis, crosses the dorsal surface of the ischial spine, then it is medial to the internal pudendal vessels and obturator nerve, then appears in the pudendal canal of the lateral wall of ischiorectal fossa through the lesser sciatic foramen. Now in the pudendal canal, you can see this is the pudendal canal. The nerve is accompanied by internal pudendal vessels. At first, the nerve gives off inferior rectal nerve or the hemorrhoidal branch. You can see here. So it gives off inferior anal nerve or the rectal nerve, one and the same. So it gives off inferior rectal nerve or the hemorrhoidal branch, and thereafter divides into perineal and the dorsal nerve of penis or the clitoris. So thereafter the pudendal nerve divides into the dorsal nerve of the penis or the clitoris in females and the deep perineal nerve. The inferior rectal nerve, which is a branch from the pudendal nerve, it supplies the sphincter ani externus. So we can make out here, this is inferior rectal nerve or the inferior anal nerve. It supplies the sphincter ani externus and perianal skin on either side of the anus up to the pectinate line. Okay, that has been taught in rectum and anal canal, the pectinate line and everything. Okay. In female, it also supplies lower 2.5 centimeters of the vagina. So lower 2.5 centimeters of the vagina, it is supplied by inferior rectal nerve. Then perineal nerve, in the anterior part of the pudendal canal, the perineal nerve divides into deep and superficial branches. So the deep perineal nerve and superficial perineal nerve. The deep branches are muscular and supply the muscles of superficial and deep perineal pouches. What are those muscles? Bulbospongiosus, we can see here, this is the bulbospongiosus. Ischiocavernosus. Then superficial and deep transverse perineal muscles. So we can see here the superficial transversus perineae. Here also we can make out the superficial transversus perineae and sphincter urethrae. The sphincter urethrae. So these are the muscles which are supplied by the deep branches of the perineal nerve. Now coming to the dorsal nerve of penis or clitoris. So we can see dorsal nerves here of the penis and in the female the clitoris. It is a sensory nerve and enters the deep perineal pouch beneath the perineal membrane, accompanied by trunk of internal pudendal vessels on its medial side. Now this dorsal nerve of penis or clitoris, they supply the skin of the penis, you can see here, and prepuce and the glans penis. So the 7 nerves, they appear in the gluteal region and lower limb. So these are the 7 nerves which appear in the gluteal region and lower limb, which I have not discussed in detail because these nerves have been taught in the lower limb. Superior gluteal nerve, it arises from the dorsal branches of the ventral ramia of L4, L5, S1, and inferior gluteal nerve, same from the dorsal branches of ventral ramia of L5, S1, S2. Nerve to quadratus femoris originates from ventral branches of ventral ramia of L4, L5, S1. Nerve to obturator internus originates from ventral ramia of ventral branches of ventral ramia of L5, S1, S2. Posterior femoral cutaneous nerve originates from dorsal branches of ventral ramia of S1, S2 and ventral branches of ventral ramia of S2 and S3. Perforating cutaneous nerves originate from dorsal branches of the ventral rami of S2 and S3 and the sciatic nerve. So these are the 7 nerves appearing in the gluteal region and lower limb. So assignment for this lecture is draw a well labeled diagram of sacral plexus where you have to show the branches from the sacral plexus, the roots, anterior divisions and the posterior divisions. Okay, and this assignment is for all 175 students. Thank you very much.